Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome in everyone. As JW rightly put in one of the earlier videos this week on the team previews or reviews or team look-ats, team in-dives, I don't even know what this series is called, I've forgotten. Basically what he put was saving the best till last, and I couldn't agree more, but unfortunately Supreme wanted to go earlier on in the week, so JW has agreed to come in and fill that spot. It's funny because it's banter. Right? Don't do that here, Cat. Anyway, welcome in everyone. Hope you're doing very well. This is one I've put last. And I put last when I've recorded all the episodes together. Because, it's just, it's going to take a while for me to start. It could be the longest video here. There are so many players I haven't played before, so you've got no stats to go off. There are bits and sods and odds, and just in general, I think it's a... it's a horrible team to look at, no offence. So we'll be dissecting this, and we'll be taking quite a while on JW's team. And first of all, though, we're going to have a look at the players that have been retained or coming back to JW, which of course is called the Chuckers. And that is Jason Roy, who, to be fair to him, that's a not bad shout. He's a homegrown, he's an opening batsman, average of 46, 133 on the strike rate, maybe a bit too slow on that. Does have a 50 as well, but... up that strike rate and you've got a good player. I think that's Jason Roy through and through. You've got Faf du Plessis coming back as well. Average 26, 167 on the strike rate. Again, it's not a bad call that. Plunko's also coming back. Bowler didn't bat too much, but 2 wickets and an economy of 8.6, so decent average bowling there. And also Tom Curran, and that has made Supreme's ears prick up all of a sudden, thinking, someone say Tom Curran. Only one other player that does that more, as my phone beeps. Whoop. Turn that one off. You can tell I'm bad at this. Last player is obviously Tom Curran, who does bowl quite well in the SCITT and in Scotland. 5 wickets, 8.81 in terms of economy, so not too bad there. 2 good English bowlers being kept on. But if we're going to go through the team from 1 to 11, the big thing to know is that Christopher Henry, Universe Boss Gale, is coming back to SCITT. He'd play for a franchise that has shut down, but he has been put up in price to 500k, and he's at the JW, the Chuckers. Wonderful to see him back. The Universe Boss, strike rate of 200, average of 22. Doesn't stay in there for long, but he scores quick, and that's what you need. The SCITT, there's 10 overs, there's 60 balls. You don't want someone just literally knocking it around like David Milan at the start of innings, taking 20 balls, 21 to 20 balls. You're thinking that's a third of our innings. I'm talking about David Milan in real life, not David Milan in the SCITT, because that is very 2 different versions of David Milan. So, Chris Gale, 202 runs, 101 balls. Couldn't have a cooler 2 numbers for a cooler dude. Bowled a bit as well, economy of 8.5. So, he can turn his arm over. And he hasn't been smashed around anywhere. Hasn't got any wickets, but hasn't been smashed around anywhere. So, bang average, I'd say that is. Jason Roy, obviously, I think will be his opening partner, at least for the start of the season. A lot longer in the group stages now, so keep a lookout for that. Faf du Plessis, Ajinkya Rahane, and Kusal Mendes come in. Ajinkya Rahane did, and Kusal Mendes, I think both of them, I believe, might have been the Tennis Titans. I think, from memory, in the skiff. I know Ajinkya Rahane was. We don't have any stats to go off because they weren't part of the SCITT. But Faf du Plessis we can have a look at. Obviously, we briefly run over it. Strike rate of 167, average of 26. I think there's a good bat in there. Faf du Plessis. Be interesting to see, for me, where the order goes from there. I think Gale and Roy to open, I think, is certain. And then it could be anyone really here. We've got people on the bench that could come in as well, which makes it so interesting. But Faf du Plessis comes in. Ajinkya Rahane and Kusal Mendes, from memory, I think, had some good days, but some very bad days in the skiff. Obviously, that's a 5-5 tournament. This is so much more different. But I think those 2 will come in purely because I think Kusal Mendes is the only keeper there. Of course, there can be other people that will come in. You could probably give a couple of those people there the gloves and then be a safe pair of hands. But I think Kusal Mendes, the only keeper selected, I think that's for a reason. I think he'll at least start the tournament. Barring any shocking performances, he'll stay there for a majority of it, if not all of it. To me, I think we go into all-rounders, because in terms of batsmen, you've only got O.A. Shah from Scotland, so that's another one there. Left-hander, which only, Chris Gale And for my lineup, as you can see there, is Jack Leach at 11, the only left-hander. So maybe Owe Shah will come in, but I don't see that happening to me. I think those front five is the strongest they've got. So we go into the all-rounders. We've got Tom Abel and Karen Pollard on the bench there. Both of them can do a job, maybe up the order, instead of Mendes, Rahane or Faf. But we've got Colin de Grandhomme, the granddaddy of cricket, and Finn Hudson-Prentice, so another new player in Finn. Yes, there's not much I can go on this. I like to go off stats, so hopefully next season we'll have too many more new players, so I can literally say, well, here are the stats, here's my thoughts. Makes it easier. But Colin de Grandhomme, I think, is a good pick. He's a really, really good pick. Has 3 wickets, and a big thing to note is his economy is 4.5. Hasn't bowled much, 48 balls, but economy of 4.5. He was so hard to get away. His best bowling innings is 2 for 2. I'm pretty sure those were 2 overs as well. A wicket and 1 run in both overs. So he has some very, very good bowling. It's so slow, it's so hard to get away. He bats all right as well, average of 48. Obviously only had 48 runs scored, so 3 innings, 2 not outs. Strike rate of 145 though, so he can hit the ball, he can bowl well. I think that's a really good pick, and for 300k as well, I think that's a really good selection that from JW. Probably one of the selections for me of the skit, and I will do a selection video before. Oh, I gave it away. Wasn't gonna keep it a secret, but oh well. I'm gonna do probably just a few analytical videos, quick fire videos, like maybe YouTube Shorts. Is that thing? Can I do that? I don't know. Just I think the 1 to 11 of best picks for price, for stats, and I think everything in general. And I'm pretty sure de Grandhomme's going to make it in there. Finn Hudson-Prentice, young up-and-coming England all-rounder, despite the fact I think in one of the cricketing games, I think it was the county championship one, he's down as a batsman. He's an all-rounder. That is... Yeah, anyway. Sidetrack there. I think those two will be 6 and 7. Colin de Grandhomme, I think he has to go no matter where. Maybe it could be 8, maybe it could be further up than 6. But he has to be in there. And then Finn is there just to try and keep the England contingent up. Obviously, you look at the front 6, just Jason Roy there for England. So I think Finn has to come in. And the bowling is all homegrown. It is all domestic. It is Liam Plunkett at 8, Safian Sharif at 9, Hamza Tahir at 10, and Jack Leach, the wall, the nut, at 11. The big thing to note here, I think, for me, is that there's 2 bowlers that bowl it left-hand off spin. So that maybe could be an issue. But at the same time, some of the left-handed spinners have had some good tournaments. And both of those, in Tahir and Leach, have kept the ball, or kept the economy low. Tahir at 8.74 for economy. Leach just under 8 for the economy. And 7.91, and picks up 2 wickets as well. Tahir no wickets. So big things that as well. We've gone over. We haven't really done too much on bowling. Some of the teams at the start had some good teams where you'd have some good economic bowling and not wickets, or wickets. This one, there's not really too much in terms of wickets, but there is some good economical bowling in there for sure, with de Grandhomme, Tahir and Leach, and a couple in the 8s as well. Chris Gale, Plunkett, Curran. So I think there's some good bowling there for me. But I think Jack Leach is a good pick. I think he's been hard to get away. Tahir, obviously, the Scottish contingent. As to for Safian Sharif, who wasn't picked up in the skit. He's come back into Scotland contention now in all 3 formats for me, for Scotland, which we'll get back to eventually. I haven't forgotten about it. It's just I've not got the buzz to play Test cricket, or the concentration. Well, that's the big problem. But he is a man that's coming back into form, so a good pick up there from JW. And Liam Plunkett, as we've said, he's homegrown. He's fast bowling as well. I think that's another man that I think will be interesting to watch, see how he does. Coming back into the chuckers. On the bench, as I said, you've got Owe Shah, you've got Tom Abel, you've got Karen Pollard, you've got Simon Harmer, and you've got Tom Curran. I don't think too many of them will get too many games. I think Karen Pollard will come in potentially for Ajinkya Rahane, for Kusal Mendes, for Faf du Plessis if one of them isn't performing, because you can easily put Karen Pollard up a bit and have de Grandhomme coming down a bit. Maybe even bring him in for one of the domestic players like Finn Hudson-Prentice or someone further up. But then you've got to bring in a Shah, an Abel, or a Curran. I think none of those are really too bad of an option. Simon Harmer, I do struggle to see where he fits in. He's a 100k off spinner, so maybe on a turning pitch, which is dusty and medium at the Kia Oval. So maybe on a turning pitch like Ahmedabad, when you go there, get Simon Harmer in. Maybe get Summon Harmer in instead of one of the pace bowlers. So Sharif, Hudson Prentice, or Plunkett, and then because he can bat a bit as well. Summon Harmer is a bowling all-rounder, and then get Tom Bell or Owe Shah in for Mendes, Rahane, or Faf du Plessis to balance out the homegrown side of things, the domestic side of things. But all in all, it's an intriguing team. Again, there's not too much I can go into because Jinka Rahane hasn't played in the skit before, neither's Kusal Mendes, neither's Finn Hudson Prentice, neither's Safian Sharif, neither's Owe Shah, neither's Simon Harmer. So there's only so much I can say, but I think it's an exciting team. There's so much unknown about it. I think there's some really good pickups in there. I think Colin de Grandhomme is a fantastic pick. I think Jack Leach is a really good pick as well. And I think Chris Gale, I think, is, again, it's the universe boss. What is there not to like about the universe boss? Need I say more? But it's an exciting team. I think Rahane and Kusal Mendes, I think, are two strange selections for me. Obviously, having not played in the skit, it's ballsy to go. That's two decent money players. That's 700k. You've got there 600k, Kurt. Come on, 600k of players in batting that haven't played here before. So maybe go for one and have another one cheaper. Maybe like an Owe Shah there. Going for two and Owe Shah making it 700k in three batsmen that haven't played in this format before. Makes it interesting to see how they'll handle it. But we'll see. We'll see. It's exciting nonetheless. And that's it. Team previews are done. That is that. See you tomorrow for a little bit of an introductory video on the skit. And well,